It's all right. Let me start again. All right.
It's all right.
Guys, welcome to the first ever J&B Podcast. My guest today is Dylan Weston. I'm really excited to have Dylan here, and the reason why he's the first person is because he's also an aspiring entrepreneur. He's got a couple of things going on at the moment. So, Dylan, you want to introduce yourself?
Yep. I'm Dylan Weston, as you just said. Thank you so much for having me today. Really excited, and got a lot of stuff to go down, talk about, and just so passionate about this topic and can't wait.
Okay, beautiful, man. So, first thing I want to ask, dude. So, what's your current hustle, man? What are you doing at the moment?
So I got a few things currently on my mind. It's currently when people ask me what am I, it's kind of hard to explain. I would say entrepreneur, trying to be an entrepreneur. Achieved a few things in the past, but really what I think I am now is mainly a thinker. So what I like to do is I've exited out of the rat race so far. Hopefully I don't stuff up my investments and I have to fall back into there. But now I just like to sit down and do the deep thought and think about, so what do I need to study to improve my game overall? What do I need to focus on? Where's my knowledge lacking? And where should I potentially place my dollars so they're actually working for me in the future? So I never have to be working per hour with my physical hands anymore. Yeah,
very cool, man. Very cool. So just a bit of background on Dylan. I actually met Dylan at Nando's. But I only met, I think, Dylan, when did you start, man, in Heatherton?
I started about 5 years ago now.
5 years ago. Okay, cool. I actually met Dylan in Nando's Chadstone.
Yep.
And the cool thing about Dylan was because he was the manager there. He was really good at motivating people. Honestly, I did a lot of manager meetings as well. I sat at a lot of manager meetings. And what I noticed about manager meetings is if you're the one listening, it's usually this guy's boring, or or it's he doesn't practice what he preaches. You don't really learn that much, right? Or if I was a manager, for instance, and I was basically conducting the meeting, I mean, I know some people go, oh, cool, yeah, Julian, whatever, and some people say, oh, I don't like this Julian kid, whatever, But whenever Dylan had a staff meeting, every single person would always be like, oh fuck, I can't wait to work for Dylan. Dylan's the best. Where did you learn how to do public speaking? You're always good in front of a crowd. You motivated everyone, man.
To be honest, it wasn't. It doesn't come across naturally to me. I'm actually kind of more of a person that is introvert, likes to hide away, doesn't really like to be in big crowds, and I can just literally be happy and content living in a cave as long as there's a fast internet connection. That's just me. So it didn't come naturally. What I just found out though is that when I first got the job as the manager at the beginning, it wasn't like that at all, and I found out that the biggest way to fix everything in your life is just purely through knowledge. So, you got all these books. If you're lacking in anything, you pick up a book about the topic, you read it, and then what do you do straight away? You implement it. Because these people around us, there's experts, they've dedicated 20 years of their life to one single topic, and we can't learn that through experience. You know what I mean? We can't live all of these lives. So if we pick up a topic, 20 years, we can absorb it in just a few hours. And so what helped me with people was the book, How to Win
Friends and Influence People.
Influence people. Sorry, my notes getting to me, but that's a classic book, and just helped me so much with people. That actually is a really good book, man. I read it. It's Dale Carnegie, right? It is. Yeah. What's funny, because when I was reading that book, right, I was like, honestly, I swear to God, I was like, fucking, I bet Dylan read this book. I reckon this is where I got it from. Honestly, because it really is a good book, man. It's stop talking, actually listen to people. That's a bare basic a lot of people get wrong in business, in any relationships. Is being able to communicate with people is so important, man. 100%.
I think,
definitely. And
so,
another thing, I thought is so if you think about Nando's, it's generally a bunch of younger children or younger adults in between ages of 15 all the way to 25, and you've got some older in the crowd. So they haven't had all of those life lessons yet and haven't got their shit together yet. So we need to be there as leaders and lead to empower those people to actually run the business successfully.
Yeah.
So we have to be in there giving those examples. And I just found that, you have to be the one leading from the front line. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. And people will lose respect for you and won't follow.
Yeah. Well, I think, honestly, Dylan, because you got that sort of mindset, you put yourself in the shoes of the owner. That's why you can talk to people like that. My family own Nando's, so I know what it's like. But there's people that no matter how much you pay them, or they're just like, I'm just here for the money. I don't care about, this and that. And how do you deal with people? No matter, like, obviously, like, during our time in Nando's, there was like a few staff that no matter what you say, it's like, fuck, I don't like this guy. Like, I don't want to listen to Dylan. How do you deal with people like that?
Yeah, I think, I don't know, maybe because when people first meet me, I think they either love me or hate me.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know, I'm kind of like trying to motivate everybody and then thinking, is he only doing that because it benefits him? You know, the more I benefit the store, it didn't actually increase my pay rate. I was doing it because I just found out that if the store runs smoothly and we're having a good time and we're getting the job done, then time goes by faster.
That's true.
You know, otherwise it's going to be so slow. Like, you're just like, oh man, I don't want to be in this workplace. And if everybody's mindset is down, depressed, no energy there, it's just going to make it worse for everybody.
You
got to switch it around, create a positive mindset.
Yeah. That's true, man. Like, just talking about Nando's right now just brings me back so many memories and so many faces. I really want to name drop right now, man, but they're probably watching this, so I better not.
But with dealing with those people, like, I always try to treat them like they are myself. And I always like to give them, at least 3 chances. And if it doesn't work out in the end, it's always the leader's fault, which is always my fault.
That's right.
So I will always explain at the end, say, hey, I'm very sorry that it has to go down this path because we have to cut our losses with this staff member. But 100%, it is my fault. I wish I gave you more time, more opportunities. But I can't. I'm sorry, and it's all my fault. And I just keep positive, stick at it. You've learned some lessons from here, and then move on to the next. I'm sure you'll find something that you're more passionate about and something that will click. So
that's really awesome, man. Because I remember when we did go to Nando's chats when I first met you, there was something like, he came to me, right? And they were like, fucking Dylan, man, I don't like him because of this or because of that. And then, like, literally a week later, they would be like, Dylan's the best. I'm like, fuck, you were talking crap about him the other day. Everyone just loved you there, man, which is great, man. It's really important. Because I know a lot of managers, right? You know them too. And I know we're thinking about the same person right now. I don't want to say any names, but I mean, they're good managers. They're good. They're great people. They know how to run a business, but they're terrible at managing people, man. It's so important to be able to, like, relationships is almost the most important thing in business. It's being able to manage people.
100%.
So, man. Definitely.
And just like a little thing that I've learned, like, as an example that people can implement straight away if they're in, like, the hospitality business is day one when I say I hire somebody. So during the interview process, I ask them, are you willing to do every job? Which literally will include you doing cleaning toilets, cleaning dishes, and that'll be for an X amount of time that I cannot guarantee you will progress. And so you may be washing toilets and doing all the cleaning for weeks on end. Are you prepared to do that? Yes or no? If they say no, I will never hire them. Then on day one, on their very first shift, what are we doing? We're cleaning the toilets straight away. But when we clean the toilets, say like the Heatherton store that we had 3 toilets. I would clean 2 of them, show them how it's done on 2, and then I get them to clean 1. So I've done twice the work. I've shown that I have the humility to clean the toilets, even though I'm the top dog. I think just straight away from that first impression, it hard grains into their mind. Dylan will think, sorry, I'm talking about myself in the third person.
It's fine.
So Dylan thinks like, he's on our level and he doesn't think he's above anybody.
Like Dylan doesn't have an ego.
Try to cut that out as much as possible, and it's always a constant battle.
Do you ever miss Nando's, man?
100%. Like, I think...
which parts?
I think it's just mostly, the people, being around, there's people, having that environment, we just always get pumped up before our shift. We're like, all right, big Friday night, boys and girls, let's get ready. It's going to be hectic for the next 3 hours. So crazy, so much stuff going on, multitasking. And it's just like the challenge. And, like sometimes we'll scream out, all right, we're going for the world record tonight. We're going to be faster than Usain Bolt. And like, it's just a good feeling. Like, I just like to achieve stuff together as a team. I just love it. And then I think like when you're cooking, like I would definitely love the cooking side of it. Just pumping out chickens after chicken after chicken, because I feel like you're kind of like in a flow state where you're just fully focused on what you are doing. Similar to like a surfer in a way. People probably can't really relate, but to me, Nando's and cooking is literally like surfing for others.
Yeah. Especially in a store like Chatty, you know.
Oh, the busiest store.
Well, yeah, man. It didn't even feel like work anymore. It just felt like a game, you know.
Yeah.
Like we got to keep up. It was really fun. Yeah, and a lot of the stuff at Nando's Chatty as well was quite cool.
Yeah.
We had some very cool guys. Yeah, man. Do you ever see yourself going back to hospitality?
Definitely, I think so.
As like an owner or an investor or something?
Yeah, definitely. I think, 100% owner and investor. Even, at the first 6 months or so, I probably want to get my hands dirty with it to win the respect. Like the manager that I bring in and the staff, and create that culture first, then step aside and let it run on its own. But definitely, because, at the beginning when I first got the job as Nando's, I hated it, man. Like just washing dishes, like I had a 3-hour shift. I'm like, how the hell am I going to get through a 3-hour shift? It was just so boring. But then it just grows on you. And now, like, I've got addicted to that. And since I've been away from hospitality for like about, I think, 1 year, maybe 1.5 years, it's urging on me. And I'm currently thinking of ideas. What can I do? Thinking about.
There's actually there's a lot of money in hospitality, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of money in it. You just have to know how to do it.
Yep.
That's all.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Damn, man, but Nando's, I miss it a lot, to be honest.
Yeah, you do.
I mean, just like talking about it really brings back a lot of memories.
Yeah.
We had some pretty good times.
But it's always the thing. Next thing is you got to move on in life.
Yeah,
even though it's the fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Can't do it forever.
That's why I always say, like, we should just get, you, me, get Nathan, get some of the boys. We just take over Nando's Chatty for one day. How fun would that be?
That would be good.
That would be good, man. That would be good. Yeah. But what I didn't like about hospitality though is the amount of wastage we had. We used to throw food in the bin all the time, man. Like, that was just ridiculous.
Yeah.
But that's one of those things.
Yeah. It's definitely tough.
Yeah. So I guess. So how long were you in Nando's for?
So I was about there for about I think almost 5 years.
5 years, yeah. I mean, what do you take away? What's the most valued lesson you learned from your time in hospitality?
Like looking back, I think like Nando's or hospitality is literally the perfect job. Yeah. If you have the mindset that I want to progress here, learn something and move forward, because you're gonna learn so many different aspects about life and about business, about yourself, about being organized.
Man, it does. Yeah.
From dishes to how to cook to hygiene to customers, handling customer complaints if you get any, keeping the customer happy, and then from running the business, doing rosters and all of that. You just learn so much. And imagine if we just got a normal job, something else, just stacking boxes at the supermarket. Yeah. What are you gonna learn?
Exactly, nothing. Man. Exactly. Like a lot of young people these days in high school, they always go, "Oh, like I get paid $12 an hour working at Macca's or working at Nando's." It's like, for me, for both of us, we learned so much because we went from dishwasher all the way to store manager, you know. And it's more than just washing dishes, more than just dealing with shitty customers, man. Yeah. And shitty customers is another thing I want to talk about. I mean, that was really, we got some really bad ones, but hospitality is really rewarding when you put in the work.
Yep. Yeah, the way I look at it as well is like a lot of people, they'll come to me and they'll always say like, "So Dylan, you're not doing it for the money, all right? And the better the business is, you don't get extra pay, all right? Then why are you continuing with this effort?" So first of all, you got to treat the business as your own, because that will give you the confidence for one day when you do want to have your own business, you will have.
You know what to do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the next thing is, I'll put in 100% as much effort as possible, because I'll be looking at it as like a university degree that I'm actually getting paid for, like a business degree. Yeah, instead of me paying them, I'm getting paid. So I'm like, it's a great deal. I don't see what's wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever your pay is, it's a great deal. Everybody looks at me like, "Oh, the pay is not good." It's the best. I think it's the best pay.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess it just really depends on one's priorities. I mean, what are you doing this for? Is this for your personal development, or is this just for cash flow? You just want pocket money, so you can blow it on some useless shit,
Like, definitely a trap.
Most important thing, I reckon, get your priorities straight. What do you want to achieve? You know what I mean? Yep. You got to think about the long term, not just the short term.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, man. But man, just talking about Nando's, first thing that reminds me, man, like the customers that we had to deal with.
Yep.
We had some really, really bad customers.
There's some crazy ones.
Do you remember that time the one customer called the cops on us?
Cops.
You remember that one?
I don't know if I was there for that one. Tell me about it.
It was two managers, right? And they brought outside food. We didn't let outside food inside to be eaten inside the restaurant, right?
Yeah.
And then so one of our managers was like, "Hey, look, you gotta take your food outside. We'll give you takeaway box and stuff." And they were like, "I'm gonna call the cops," and they literally called the cops.
Really?
Yeah, and they left.
So extreme, man.
You remember that?
Yeah.
That was bad, man. That was so stupid, right? Like they called the cops, man, on us. Huh? That's not even the worst one. Yeah. We had the gluten-free warrior. Do you remember that one?
Gluten-free warrior. I don't know these ones. What happened?
Man.
Tell me about this one as well.
This guy, basically, he was eating Nando's, but his wife wanted to eat takeaway food.
Yep.
And we said, "Yo, that's cool, but we don't allow outside food here, only for that reason." "Oh, but my wife, she can't have gluten, right?" It's like, why are you discriminating against people with? It's like that's got nothing to do with it, man. Like people in, I don't know, especially in Chadstone. I mean, Springvale, Clayton, all the other stores I worked at was like, it's okay.
Yep.
You might get one or two crazy people, but Chadstone was like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah, why do you reckon that is? Like, just there's this insane amount of people coming in.
Probably, man.
Yeah.
It was, because it was so busy, it didn't even feel like a restaurant anymore, man. It just felt like a marketplace,
It's kind
Everyone
of
was
like
so hostile.
pumping them out. Yeah, pumping them out.
Yeah. Man, it's good days though. Yeah, but I know you've been back to Indonesia quite often, man.
Yeah.
And like, because you're an Australian, right?
Yeah.
So you think you're going on holiday, Dylan's just having fun in Bali, but when you go for like almost half a year, bro. What's going on? What are you doing there?
So I've probably been to Bali like
Yeah.
more than 20 times, 22, 23 times.
Yeah.
I've probably spent total collective of like probably 2 years of my life there now.
Yeah.
So first of all, I fell in love with the culture of Bali, how it's relaxed, the people are more humble that I find there, and I just like the way of life.
Yeah.
But yeah, then lately it's half as well, because yes, I do want to go there to have a holiday, but I'm also looking there for the business prospects as well.
Business side of it, yeah.
Yeah, because it's just in Australia currently, like it's so, like the margins are getting so thin. If you have a restaurant business, you make maybe 10% profit if you're lucky, and it's a struggle. It's really hard. Labor cost is so expensive here, and then if you look at somewhere like Indonesia, everything is much cheaper. But then somewhere like Bali, it's Friday night every single day of the week. So it's always busy.
It's a lot of opportunity, huh?
Like what we saw Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, it's dead quiet. And then we make the money back on the weekends. There, every single day.
Yeah.
And I think it's really good to start a business. You're not exploiting the people, you're actually building them up. And if I ever open a business there, I want to train them so one day they can create their own business, give them those skills.
Oh, okay.
And by bringing in, more tourists into Bali, then the more dollars spent in Bali is just going to help the country.
Yeah. Very cool, man. I mean, all right. So, I guess apart from the business side of it, what do you enjoy so much about Indonesia, man? Can you speak Indonesian yet or not?
No, I can't.
Oh, yeah. You have to learn,
I did study
though.
a little bit.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I need to definitely study more.
Yeah.
But, do you know Tim Ferriss from 4 Hour Workweek?
No.
So, he talks about how to learn stuff as fast as humanly possible.
Yeah, okay.
It's a really good book. He's got one called 4 Hour Chef. So what he goes into in this book is he wants to become a world-class chef in the shortest amount of time put in possible. So I would highly recommend to anybody listening, read that book first and then dive into other books, because they'll teach you how to absorb the knowledge faster. And one of his things that he says is so you got to break it down in a way where you're using 80-20 principle analysis. So what is the 20% that will give you 80% of the results? Because usually in school, we focus on the 80% that will give us 20% of the results. So, if at school, if we're learning a language, you're learning every single color. But there's colors we don't really need to know straight away. Yeah. Reds and blues, white and black, they're strong colors. But then purple, you don't really need to know that. It's maybe taking up a little bit too much bandwidth at the beginning. Learn it later. So what he says is, if you want to learn a language, go on Google and find the top 300 most used words in that language. If you read all of them and understand all of them, just 300, that should give you 80% of the results on daily like just conversation. So I did study them, I did learn them so I could order food and all of that. But that was a few years ago, and I've dropped off since I went to Nando's and didn't focus on it. But I definitely need to get back.
You're getting back in
the
it,
language, yeah.
Yeah, you should, man. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, apart from Bali, have you been to other parts of Indonesia?
Yeah, I've been to a few other places. Actually, yeah, with Nathan. And yeah, we went to just a few different places. Went to Malang, went to Surabaya, and Jakarta. Just checked out those places just for a little bit. Yeah. It's different. It's eye-opening. I do think that I did gain a bit of value. Just seeing how things are differently there.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And like it just adds to your brain, and you're gonna bring that information back, and then you're gonna use it someday. I think traveling is very beneficial.
Definitely, especially like Indonesia. I personally don't really travel like to a lot of different places, but Indonesia I go like every year. Yeah. And what I really like about Indonesia is I mean, apart from every night's a Friday night, apart from that is you actually see like a lot of things that you can't find in Australia, like the slums, like the poor people, like the poverty there and the struggle, and everyone there, I guess it's just so underdeveloped. It really does open your eyes and really 100%. Puts things into perspective, you know. Like just to appreciate the fact that we live in Melbourne, you know, is already a blessing, man.
I think what you just touched on is like absolutely perfect, because literally every single person in a first world country needs to experience that to understand how lucky we have it. Because if you think about it, what do we do here? We're always complaining, but how easy is our life compared to them? Yeah. Like they have to. Like number one thing they have to. If you're spending money going to university, you better have money saved up to go to a third world country and experience that, because it'll change your whole perspective. Definitely,
man. Like when I went to Indonesia, man, you see a lot of crazy stuff, man. You see like little kids, you know, on the street. I saw like this. It was like 5-year-old girl holding like a baby in her arm on the road, asking for money. I'm like, what the hell? What happened there? You know, what's going on? That's really bad, man. Like, damn.
Yeah, I remember. Before, at the beginning, like seeing those people, it touched me so much. I used to like donate a little bit of money, and then I came to the realization, at this rate I'm gonna have nothing left. And so it's a hard one, because you want to help a lot, but then what can you do with one person? But just touching on that, the one that like every now and then I see a crazy like circumstance, and it really shocks me, and I have to. And the last one that happened was late at night. There's this old lady walking along like one of the main roads. It's really busy, crazy traffic flying past her, and she's just got everything that she owns, and she's just pushing like a bicycle, and she's just walking like this, like really slowly, just pushing it, not even riding it. And I went up to her.
Is Bali, is it?
Yeah, in Bali. Like Sunset Road, like the main road behind everything, and offered her a little bit of money, not that much. But the crazy thing is, like, she had a mental illness where she just started screaming in my face. And, you know, if that was in Australia, she would be taken care of. But because it's in Bali and they don't have, you know, the sophistication when it comes to the government and all of that, it's just so sad to see. And that is happening a lot.
Yeah, it is, man. People don't really give a shit, you know, in Bali.
But yeah, like, I think, definitely, like, for us in third world countries, it's great to, like, focus, understand how lucky we've got it, then work really hard so we become financially free and we can focus on stuff that we want to make ourselves happy. But then once we got ourselves into that position, I think, you know, I don't want to preach or anything, but I think it's beneficial to give a little bit back.
Yeah, that's right, man.
Make the world a better place.
That's right, man. I mean, there's no point, you know, hustling hard, working hard, building this empire for your own benefit. You know, you got to give back to society. Yeah. Like what my mother always says, if you see a bum on the road or you see the less fortunate, if you give them money, they'll buy alcohol. You tell them to buy shoes, or you tell them to buy food, they'll go buy cigarettes, or they'll go buy booze, you know. Yeah. It doesn't matter what they buy, because you as a person are fulfilling your duty, which is to obviously help those in need. Yeah, give them a chance. Give them a chance. Give them that $1. So if they buy alcohol, so what? But you've done your job, man. So it's about giving back, you know. Yep. Yeah, definitely, man. When's your next trip to Indonesia? Any idea?
So I'm currently brainstorming like a potential restaurant or potential Airbnb that I might make. Yeah. Once that is pretty much set in stone, then I'll go back. But we're probably looking 6 months on the earliest, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough, man.
Yeah.
But you got to be prepared, though. I mean, it's not the same as Australia. It's not regulated there.
Yeah.
I mean, you got. I mean, hopefully you got connections. You know.
Yeah. You definitely need connections.
You're gonna need that.
Even with connections, it's very scary. But I feel like Bali and Indonesia is the type of place where, in a way, it's easier to do business because of the labor costs and all of that, but it's way harder barrier to entry, with all, because there's nothing to protect you, especially as a foreigner. I got no rights. If I ever get into a legal battle, I'm going to lose straight away. And I just feel like if you can get over that barrier to entry, then you'll reap the rewards. But it's just such a big hurdle, and that's why everybody doesn't go straight to Bali. It looks like it's the best place to do business, but there's definitely a catch.
Yeah, totally. I agree, man. Because, I mean, go for it, man. I think that's a really cool idea, man. But just watch out because, as you said, I mean, you are a foreigner.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you just got to take care. But I'm sure you'll kill it, man. I'm sure you'll kill it.
Thank you.
Anyways, real quickly, let's just take a 10-minute break and then we'll get back. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We're back to the second half here with Dylan Weston from Hardcore Headstarts. How you feeling, man?
Very good.
Good. Okay,
the
very
vitamins
good.
in.
Awesome, man. All right, man. So, as you probably know, I spoke with you about this before, man. I've started doing vlogs, right? Yeah. My purpose of it is so I want to inspire people. I want to share my journey because it also holds me accountable.
Yeah.
To honor my word, to make sure I stay on track. I'm really motivated to do it. And I've been watching a lot of your vlogs because you were doing the exact same thing, right? Yeah. I mean, that's the purpose I'm doing these podcasts is because I want to, and that's why you're the perfect first guest, is so we can inspire people, right? So, thing about me, man, I came from I came from quite wealthy parents. I mean, they weren't wealthy themselves, but they obviously amassed their own fortune, right? So I live very comfortably. I'm not embarrassed to say that I was somewhat spoiled, by my parents, and I still am. But I guess that led me to live a comfortable life, But then I guess just whether you're rich or whether you're poor, happiness is not judged by money, Like last year, I mean, for me personally, everything was going so smooth, and then suddenly, my parents, we sold Nando's. Business for 18 years. And then, I actually came out of a long-term relationship, ended really badly, but, it's in the past now. Yeah. And in that position, I remember I used to just sit in my chair, stare at the paint on my wall and be like, what the F is happening with my life, right? I wasn't myself. And then I was like, this isn't Julian, fuck, I like to smile, but I wasn't smiling at all. And I thought, well, honestly, it felt like the world slapped me in the face, man. It was like a big slap. The world knocked on my door and says, Jules, man, this is real life. And that's when I realized, I can't keep carrying on like this. I want to be the master of my own destiny. I can't keep dreaming. I got to start doing, right? Which is the reason why I'm so fortunate to have Nick, so fortunate to have Nathan, who share the same vision as me, the same as you. I feel like through all that crap that's happened to me in my life, without it, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, you know. So I want to ask you, has the world ever knocked on your door and slapped you in the face? And or were you just born with the desire to be an entrepreneur or to be an influencer?
First of all, that was a lovely speech that you just
pumped
out just there. That was beautiful. I think that's definitely one of the clips that you
hope you're not just trying to be nice.
Nah. But you're right. I think it does definitely take life to slap you in the face, the down times for us to get our shit together to go for the good. And definitely with my life, just to touch on it a little bit, it was very rough. Typical parent story where they broke up when I was young. Then living with my dad, and he was just the typical tough, really tough, constantly picking on my mental side. Just nothing was ever good enough. And every single day, I say he didn't do this to me, he did it for me. And even though I don't agree with the way he has goes about his life and how he treats other people, but in a way, it pushed me to my absolute mental limits. So now anything I tackle in life, it's nothing compared to what has happened to me in the past. So, you know, just living with my father and trying to work at Nando's, you know, just a few shifts here and there, I then realized, like, you know what, my own father, he's picking on me. All right, I'm saying he was doing it for me, actually, being positive here. But that made me realize, you know what, I can't rely on anybody. I need to get my shit together, take Nando's seriously, start making a bit of income and build myself up. So, you know, it's only me. And I don't have to rely on anybody, you know. And, so as soon as that happened, you know, and, you know, we had a big fight one day, turned into like one of the first physical alterations. I jumped the fence, I ran, I left. I was about 20 at this stage, maybe late 19, about 19, 20. And straight away, sleeping at my friend's house, it's just so uncomfortable, you know. I literally have nothing to my name, and I'm in my mate's house, you know, on his couch. And I just felt ashamed of myself. Like, I literally got no home. And, you know, I thought, fuck, I gotta make my own home now. I gotta start. So straight away, hit the laptop. Where is the cheapest rent I can find in Melbourne, which is not all the way in Whoop Whoop in the country? And then you know, through a bit of hard work, I found some really cheap rent, $100 a week, including bills. Like, that's pretty much unheard of in Melbourne. And from there, I worked as hard as I possibly could at Nando's. Why? Because the harder you work, you're going to get noticed, then you get more shifts, you make more money. And the more money I had means I could buy food. I could then buy my mattress on the floor. Slowly but surely, I could furnish my place that I was staying at. And it was just that upbringing and that, you know, constantly mentally picking on me that made me realize, like, I have to be self-reliant. And ever since that day, you know, that I finally left, finally grew some balls and took life into my own hands, it's just been, like, so much better. And, yeah, like, I see a lot of people out there and they're not happy with their relationship at home. And, yeah, try your best to fix it. But if not, like, I recommend just leaving. Like, it's actually better to use a step back so you actually have a, you know, clarity of thought and you can actually do something. And then people will say, oh, but I'm saving the money, and they try to justify it, but it's not really worth it, you know. It's your mental health is so important. So it's better, forget about the money, forget how much you're going to save, just leave. It's going to be, like, much better for yourself.
Like I always say, man, it's always best to stick with your gut, you know. Only you can assess a situation from your point of view. You shouldn't really, if someone says, oh, you know, have you got someone in your life that's a bit abusive or is not helping you reach where you want to go and you don't know what to do, it's best to stick with your gut.
That's 100%. Well, I like to call these people, like, we're going to come across these, like, I think one of the goals of life is to, so here's everybody in the world. It's our goal to create our own tribe, you know. So I've got you, I've got Nathan, I've got Nick, all right, I've got a lot of other friends that I'm creating. It's my goal to bring us all together, you know, find these like-minded people, and we create our own little bubble in society, you know, and then we do whatever we want, you know. Like, I think that's, like, one of the biggest goals you must have early on. If you feel like you just got a lot of negative people around you, find one like-minded person, stick together and go through the battle, you know, side by side.
It actually makes things a lot easier when you talk and when you work with people who understand what you're actually trying to achieve or what you're trying to talk about, rather than people who have no idea what you're saying or don't understand, you know. It's just really frustrating, right? But man, so, like, I know you talked about how you got, like, a bit of a tough upbringing and stuff. Would you say, like, my question is, like, without that background, would you have the same mindset that you have now?
I think the reason why I say it happened for me and not to me is because it is the best thing that ever happened to me ever. I think it literally is the biggest advantage that I have over anybody else. So anybody that's going through a really tough time, if you can survive, and I know you can because anybody is capable of everything, stick at it, and it will be the greatest benefit that it ever happened to you, and you'll be thankful it happened to you, because it creates this mental toughness that is very hard to find anywhere else.
I mean, it's that it's that own personal adversity that you face that really makes your skin thick. It becomes priceless. No one else can have it except you, you know.
Yeah.
So use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
It's good, man.
So if you're the kid out there, you're getting bullied right now.
Yeah.
You're lucky. You're literally actually lucky.
Yeah.
That's the way you got to have it. No more negativity. Flip it around is actually a positive.
Yeah, definitely, man. And just, Dylan, honestly, man, just like the way you talk, the way, like when I first met you, I had no idea, like the background that you came from. You were very well educated. You're very sharp when you speak, man. Where do you learn these things? Is it just you reading or?
Yeah, I think number one is definitely podcasts.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely like to have my heroes that I like to follow.
Yeah.
And try to absorb from them. So like Joe Rogan is definitely one. I watched his podcast all the way from the beginning. Like that's pure luck. I don't even know how I started, but I was watching Joe Rogan from literally episode 1. I don't even know how that happened. I've seen every single episode.
What year did it start, the Joe Rogan podcast?
I don't know, like, yeah, it's probably around the Nando's time, or maybe 1 or 2 years before that. I think I was just leaving high school, 18. And just the way he talks, because he's so mature and so much older and had so much experience, it made me, like, I didn't even know that type of mindset existed. You know, I wasn't even aware. And just by absorbing him over time, it just completely changed my mindset. And I found out, like, he was just interviewing successful person after successful person after successful person. And what do they all have in common? They all read books. And so that's why I thought, knowledge, podcasts, and definitely books. Absorb as much knowledge as possible. And your education doesn't have to come from school, high school, or university. We live in the greatest era in human history where we can access absolutely anything at the touch
we got
of
so
our-
much resources.
Yeah,
that's our advantage.
I know, like, we just take it from Google, man.
And shout out to Joe Rogan too.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, that guy's crazy. Yeah,
definitely an inspiration.
His podcasts are just insane.
Yeah,
like everything, and I love how natural he is, behind the microphone. And he's just so chill, he's so calm. Everyone loves him, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, you found a lot of inspiration with him, with the setup and everything like that.
Yeah. I mean, the podcast, this is literally what Joe Rogan's doing, like just microphones, camera on you, camera on me, got the Dragon Ball figures, and this guy Nathan, who's obviously managing all the setups here, we're gonna call him Jamie because Joe Rogan's guy's name is Jamie. So Jamie. But shout out to Joe Rogan though. He's this friggin' crazy guy, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man.
You hear what he's doing recently with his so he's got the sober October where they don't drink alcohol. And now they're like doing the fitness challenge. He's seriously working out 6 hours a day. Like that's insane.
Man.
6 hours a day.
Every single podcast he's talking about it. He's obsessed with it. Like even with his own guests, he's like, the sober October. And then he shows like the screenshots of the app and how he's number 1. But he's really fit, huh? Joe Rogan. His physique, man.
Crazy.
Yeah. Really great guy, man. I mean, all right. So apart from Joe Rogan, who else like inspires you?
So we got Gary V. Definitely with the social media. The believe in yourself, just do it. Tim Ferriss that we mentioned before.
Yep.
Like I think, in a way, like when people say like, I have all this knowledge and what you touched on before, like he's just a way better version of that.
Yep.
So like he's just like he like attacks his life like he's a scientist. Breaks down absolutely everything, trying to improve on everything in his life. Definitely Tim Ferriss. Then you got the Arnold Schwarzeneggers.
You should read that book, by the way, man.
Oh, I've read that one.
You have?
Yeah.
Great, huh?
Yeah, it's the best.
Awesome book, man. Great quotes in there too.
Just the way they they think about life differently.
Yeah, they do. It's the mindset of Arnold Schwarzenegger is very similar to ours. A lot of people would think like the short-term game, whereas Arnold Schwarzenegger was always, what am I going to do next? What's the final goal? And he literally went from one country all the way to the US and became like the governor.
That's insane. His life is literally insane.
It's
people
a great
don't give
book.
him enough credit, actually.
All right, look, if you guys are listening to this podcast, if you're watching it, make sure you read the book Total Recall by Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's a long book, but it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable story. Yeah.
So what about your heroes?
Me?
Yeah. Who have you got?
And Arnie, Gary V, of course, Joe Rogan, Dana White's also really cool, man. Dana White's insane, bro. What else, man? Jordan Belfort from The Wolf of Wall Street.
Yep.
Great, man. Really great. I mean, but that's another case of, greed got the better of him.
Oh, yeah.
And he paid the price. Other than that, he's very talented guy.
Yeah.
Very sharp guy too. I guess in business and sales, in management, great man.
Yeah, he's great.
John Cena too, man. John Cena. John
Cena,
bro.
I just saw a thing on Twitter. Like, I don't know much about John Cena or wrestling. But I just saw on Twitter like he's speaking like fluent Chinese, like Mandarin or something.
He's crazy. He's crazy intelligent, man. He's forward thinking guy. Like he's a performer. He's a WWE wrestler, but he knows because WWE is expanding, right? China is a massive market, so the biggest superstar in that brand needs to obviously enter the world's largest market.
Smart. Yeah.
And he literally learned Chinese.
Shit, yeah.
It's crazy, right? And what's really funny is he's actually really good at it.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Like me and Nick actually, we understand very basic Chinese. We actually had lessons and stuff, right? We were okay. John Cena, I'd got no idea.
He's a freak, mate.
He just went, he's a freak, man. He's a freak. He can hold up a conversation, Like, holy crap.
You just don't expect this big, white, muscly dude.
Yeah, man.
Fluent Chinese.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
And it's like the Chinese already love him, man. So when he starts speaking like that, they go crazy for him, man, in China, bro. Very, very cool guy, man. What else? And Dylan, I want to ask, man, because I know you used to like to play a lot of games, man, like Call of Duty and stuff, man. Do you still play? You still have time for games? Like, you still play it?
Yeah, these days I'm getting back into it a little bit.
Yeah.
Through the Nando's grind where I was pumping out like 7 hours of work a week and then doing study on the side. Yeah. There was no time for it. Now that I have a little bit of extra time, I'm getting back into it, playing a little of Call of Duty here and there.
Yeah.
Just love it because, back in the day, when I was 17, 18, used to be one of like a Call of Duty professional gamer in Australia.
You're in the eSports.
Yeah, in eSports. A little bit too early. It's blowing up now. Back in the day, we would only win like $20. So we'd fly there, get a hotel.
So you flew to another...
to Sydney. We used to go to Sydney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I used to compete there.
Holy crap.
Like at that time, we were probably like 4th best in Australia.
You were 4th best?
Yeah.
In what, Call of Duty?
Call of Duty. So,
holy crap.
Oh, like Black Ops 1, around the Black Ops 1 days. Jeez. And so we're like 4th best, but then we didn't think about it as a business, and we didn't think it would grow this big.
Yeah.
So we were just doing it for pure like fun and enjoyment.
Yeah.
So we would we were so broke the first time. We literally, I remember I was saving my money that I got for the train, just me like a little piece of cents.
Yeah.
And usually I save it to buy sushi. Yeah. I was actually saving it to get my train ticket. It was like $80 return train ticket from Melbourne to Sydney.
Far out, man.
I was just like, half ears. I remember my neck was so sore. I just got my hoodie, wrapped it around my neck, made a cast. Just going there. So I spent $80 on there. Tried to have no food, just having 2-minute noodles, and then the hotel room. And then we'll go back and win $20. That's all we had at the time. Now they're playing for millions of dollars.
Do you ever regret it, Lord? Can you imagine say you didn't stop playing esports and you still had your team, right? You were still training every day. You reckon you would be successful at it today, man? Do you reckon you'd be make millions from it?
Possibly if I worked really, really hard. Yeah. But I think there's just a little bit of natural talent that genetically I think I just don't have. So, people argue in basketball, you don't have to be tall, but it definitely helps to be tall.
Of course. Yeah.
And explosive and being able to jump high, fast reaction times. Yeah. And when it comes to Call of Duty, it's the fast reaction times. I think I'm really fast compared to the average person, but I'm just a little bit too slow. So, Call of Duty is 4 bullets, you're dead. I'm that 1 bullet too slow that I miss out.
Yeah. Because I remember, I don't really play games. Yeah. Because I'm not good at, it's not because I don't like to, it's just because I'm not good at games. I got really poor hand-eye coordination. I can just play FIFA and Smackdown. That's it. All right. And then I know last time you came to your house, I think it was Nathan and Ben or Nathan and Luke or something. Yeah. And then and they were playing Call of Duty with you. I can't play, so I didn't even watch, right? And I remember on the way home, they were like, Dylan's fucking insane. And I was like...
I turned into a different person.
Yeah, and then I was like, how could... It's just a game. What do you mean insane? He's like, Dylan was telling me how he knows the algorithms of when a player can spawn. I'm like, you can actually study that?
Everything,
wow.
Man, everything. It's
I'm like,
literally
wow.
a job. It's a job, man.
I had no idea. Wow, man.
Everything about the game, how the engine works and everything. Yeah.
Wow.
We deep dive into it.
Man.
Which cloud to aim at to throw your grenade, which will hit this certain spot on the map. Everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah, everything.
Where'd you study that? Just on YouTube, or you read about it?
We
or?
just literally chucked grenades at
tried.
clouds for ages until they hit our spots that we wanted to.
Damn, man.
Then in the future, we know what cloud to aim.
So you basically just like become a master of every map.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. Do you usually look at Twitch?
Yeah, so now that Twitch is starting to get big,
Yeah.
and there's people like Ninja that are getting like hundreds of thousands of people watching him.
Yeah.
Even Drake was going on the other day.
He bought a team, yeah?
Huh?
He bought a team.
Oh,
right?
yeah, he invested in a team.
Yeah.
So it's blowing up, and I thought like maybe we can do it like a couple hours every night, just stream a little bit. If something happens, it happens. If it doesn't matter. At least we're having fun.
Yeah.
And just try streaming on Twitch for a little bit and see where it goes.
That's good, man.
Yeah.
I mean, at least you're in a position now where you can actually just play games, Yeah, it's good, man. It's good. Yeah, man. So the next thing I want to talk about is obviously like, I think you covered it actually quite a lot already, but I'll just mention it anyway. Just like your mindset,
Yeah.
Like I just want to mention, like, I personally believe that hard work and talent, they're great to have. They're great habits to have, but I feel like attitude is the key.
Yeah,
is the key to managing. The attitude is everything, And then when I see you, Dylan, like I see from your vlogs and just from working with you, annoying you, how do you maintain that level of energy, man? You're always just like, like side hustles, and this is how you make money. This is the next opportunity.
Yeah.
A lot of people I know is like, oh, Jules, this is the next big thing, right? And then I'll see them a week later, they're like, oh, Jules, I didn't do it because I had this on or I had that on. They just procrastinate and they make excuses. How do you keep yourself, like, you're always doing something, man. How do you keep that mentality of, I got to perfect it, or I got to keep going until I actually reach it? Like, where'd you develop that from?
Well, I got to say, first of all, it's all, like, not many people talk about this, but it's always a constant battle with your inner self, to actually be motivated. Like, not many people talk about that. And once you can tell that guy, Joe Rogan calls it your inner bitch. Once you can tell that inner bitch to shut up, then that's when you win. And it's really hard. It takes years and years. Some people never even master it. But once you can tell him to shut up, then that's when you are in control of your life and have the discipline. So like Jocko Willink, he says, the more discipline you have, the more freedom you actually will have. But yeah, like I just read a lot, watch YouTube, inspiring YouTube videos, and come across different philosophies on life. Like one that I really love is the Japanese philosophy on life called Kaizen. Where it's all about just progressing at absolutely every single detail in life, everything you do. So this can be your work, can be your physical health, can be your relationships, mental health, spiritual health, or it can go down to as much as like the smallest of details, where if I'm handing you a mug of tea, right, I'm handing it to your right hand with the handle already facing to you, like at the perfect distance to your hand.
Okay.
And if you maintained all of those little details and set your bar really high, then it becomes a habit, and it will flow over into every other aspect of your life. So at my house, I think your environment that you put yourself in is very important. So I make it as clean as humanly possible. I don't only clean it as humanly possible, I do it as fast as humanly possible. I do that in everything I do. So I brush my teeth as fast as possible, but maintaining quality. I never reduce quality, in every single aspect of my life. And then when it comes to work, I do the same. And then when I get home from work, I actually, like back in Nando's days, I don't just go to sleep. I'll still do my side hustle with that same effort, because now it's just a habit and there's no way for me not to. So I feel like you wake up in the morning and you got to start winning your battles. First battle is make your bed. Second battle that I have is going to a cold shower. So I put no hot water in the shower. That way, like my whole body, my biology is screaming to me, Dylan, you're absolutely crazy. Why are you doing this? But you're showing that you have control of the day and you have control over your mindset. And you're telling that little bitch to shut up, right? Then you get a little bit of an endorphin rush, because now you are the boss of the day and you move on to the next thing. All right, now I'm going to clean the bench from last night. It's a bit dirty. And then I get a little bit of endorphin rush again and again and again. You create a snowball effect until you absolutely dominate the day. But it all starts with making your bed.
Yeah. That's true, man. That's true. So that's all under the Kaizen.
I'm kind of making my own philosophy a little bit, mixing a few.
You should.
Yeah, but
you should. But it's true. No, I believe. I always say the same thing to Nathan and all my siblings. Like cleaning your room is the beginning of everything. Huh?
Nathan doesn't like that one.
But he did. Nathan actually cleaned up his room. Is sorry to put you on the spot, but it's all right. 95% of the time, it is absolutely filthy. All right, it's absolutely. The other day though, just before his exams, he cleaned the crap out of it. He changed the position of his bed, and you know what? He ended up studying all day. He ended up finishing the video for one of our clients. And I said, Nathan, feels good, doesn't it? I was like, yeah. You know.
But does it actually feel good or not?
Yeah, no.
It does?
Yeah.
It does, yeah.
Especially just lets your mind be.
Yeah.
Lets you focus on.
Yeah. It's like being a store manager at... I say you were the boss and you were hiring someone. Would you really want to hire someone who doesn't know how to tidy their own room?
No, because Nando's is way harder.
Yeah. Like how can you?
Some of the dirtiest people.
Nathan, just let it go. Nathan, let it go. Let it go. But yeah, I agree with you, man. I wish there was more people like you though who would say, clean your room, man.
Yeah.
A lot of people like to leave their place looking like shit, you know. It's like, I don't know how you can go out in the world, do your job, do your task, when the task at home is not even done.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, right?
That's right.
Yeah, exactly, man.
100%.
Yeah. So, like I said, man, in life, there's always ups and there's always down. That's normal, right? Not just in business, but in your own life.
Yeah.
What's your advice for someone to maintain basically a level of commitment to achieving their goals?
Yep.
You know, to maintain that motivation. What's your advice to people like that?
Just to commit to your goals, like just to commit to a lifestyle of knowledge.
Yeah.
Just constantly trying to find stuff to improve your life.
Yeah.
No matter what area you may be lacking, there's nothing wrong with you. It just means you need to pick up a book and read about it. You know, whatever your weaknesses are, pick up a book, read about it, and then you just leveled up. So think about your game as like an RPG role-playing game. You can see your stats. You start off level 1, you got no armor, you're weak, you're so slow, and you keep reading books and you keep leveling up again and again. Yeah. So become addicted to knowledge, become addicted to growing and progressing.
Yeah.
And I think that's definitely one of the keys.
Yeah, definitely education, man. Like, I know, I'll be honest here, I was like the absolute dumbest kid in high school. I still remember to this day, my first ever test in year 7, this is year 7, I got 46 or 47% on my maths test, and I thought, all right, something's obviously gone wrong with me, you know? And I failed like more than 50% of all my tasks in high school ever since then. Right? I ended up with an ATAR of like 72. And I thought, like, man, this is terrible, right? I ended up going to uni, and to be honest, the only reason why I actually graduated from uni is I cheated a lot.
Did you really?
I did, man. Every possible way you can cheat, you know. It's like what you need to do is make a network of friends. Oh, okay, I shouldn't be mentioning this on the podcast, but all right, it's not good. Right. But what I'm trying to say is, what I'm trying to basically say is, I have actually started to basically read a lot of books. This year alone, I've read probably about 30 books, and I got to say, a lot of people tell me, Jules, but I don't like reading. I just can't concentrate, or I don't like holding this, and it's too boring, you know. But I used to be in that same position, and to be honest, I could honestly say, I'm not bluffing, it's honestly changed my life.
Yeah, 100%.
Just after reading Total Recall by Arnold Schwarzenegger, it changed my life. And the more you read, the more you know, the more confident you are to make whatever dreams or whatever ambitions you have into a reality. So reading 100%, I think, is a fantastic hobby. And wherever you want to go. With
your school, like you're saying, you fail like 50% of the time. Like, I don't know exactly, but I definitely think that wasn't because you're dumb. It's like because it doesn't interest you.
It doesn't.
You know?
You're right.
And you're thinking, how does this impact my life today? How will it impact my life tomorrow? Does it really? How much? You know, to what significance? But if you read one of these books, it changes your life straight away.
It does.
Literally straight away.
Yeah.
It's so valuable. It's like a $20 investment per book. And you can get millions of dollars worth of knowledge from one single book. It's insane.
Yeah. I would say my advice to anyone who is, watching this podcast or listening to this podcast, look, just read a book. Just one, you know. And if there's anything I can recommend, definitely grinding it out. got to take a look at that, and take a look at Total Recall.
Total Recall.
Total Recall is a
Arnold
great one.
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, and also that first one that we were talking about, how to win friends and influence people. Fantastic book, man.
Definitely.
Yeah. What about you, Miz? Any books you want to quickly pitch, man?
Oh man. I think for like business, for me, like Rich Dad Poor Dad completely changed my life. It's basic,
It is.
but
Yeah.
you know, like it can change your complete perspective on how you think about stuff. For me, like I did not know a single concept from that book at all. It's a major shock.
Yeah.
And then you get into the business world and everyone's like, oh, Rich Dad Poor Dad, oh, that's so basic, so easy.
Yeah.
But like that book is so fundamental to everything. So for me, something like Rich Dad Poor Dad for business, or to learn first, skip through The 4-Hour Chef by Tim Ferriss to learn how to learn.
Yeah.
And then go for it.
You know, I mean, the funny thing about Robert Kiyosaki, right, is you look at my parents today. They're very comfortable. They live very comfortably. They've amassed so much money. But if you actually mention Robert Kiyosaki to them, my parents will just go nuts. They'll be like, Julian, I would not be where I am today if it were not for Robert Kiyosaki. My parents would go nuts. And I remember
that much.
because my dad and my mom, they read the book and they were like, Jules, this book made me rich. You know, you got to read this book. You know, and my dad bought me. Robert Kiyosaki was a very smart guy, man. He made the whole line of books. And like,
have you read every one?
And the board games for kids. My parents bought everything, man.
What were you in?
It's like this. It's like a board game on how to manage money, how to get richer than the other guy. That's what Robert Kiyosaki was doing, you know. And then I think we flew to Sydney or something just to meet him so we can sign his book. And my parents was like, oh my God, like Robert Kiyosaki and all that stuff.
Wow.
And I still remember this. I don't know why I remember this. And my dad would be like, yeah, you know, me and Robert Kiyosaki, we're best friends. My dad would tell me stuff like that.
Really?
Yeah, my parents were obsessed.
Yeah, man. I don't know how old you were, but I can just imagine you guys like 5, like playing the board game already.
We still got a photo of us actually with it. And we're all still young.
Yeah.
And we actually met him. He signed our book. And
how old were you guys actually?
I was like 3.
You were 3.
You were 3.
I
was like 5. Ben was like 7.
So you literally were 5.
Yeah. We didn't, but we were just like, what's this? I just want to watch Spider-Man or something, man. Like,
still learning how to spell. You guys are working on business already.
Yeah. No, and my friends like buying these Robert Kiyosaki board games for kids, how to get rich. Yeah, man.
But literally a single book can change your life.
It can. Anything that can switch you on, you know, it's already really valuable.
Yeah.
So I can't say it enough. Definitely read books. And what else did you say really inspired you or really pushed you, man? Podcasts?
Podcasts, and then just having your heroes, because you are the average of the 5 people you hang around the most. We always hear that, all right? Yeah. But it's really hard to find 5 extremely incredible people in your immediate life. Yeah. All right, because they just don't exist here. Like the statistics are, they're over in maybe America and Silicon Valley, like doing big things anywhere else. It doesn't have to be business, it can be anything. Yeah. But make 5 really strong heroes that you watch every single day, and you can start thinking like them, you can start learning like them, and they're gonna elevate you up to their level.
That's beautiful, man. When you just say that's awesome, man, because it's so true as well. You know, I don't really hear it often, but I think about it often, and you just said it, which is awesome. Well, look, man, I really appreciate you coming to my podcast, man. Yeah, I really wish, I hope you can come back in the future again and do this with us again.
I'll be back very shortly, if you allow me to.
Huh?
I'll be back very shortly.
Yeah. Definitely, man. Last thing before I let you go, though, man. Yep. I know that your side hustle, you did a lot of cryptocurrency, right?
Yep, that's correct.
Yeah, man. So, I mean, where did you start with that?
I actually got very lucky as well, because I was so addicted to Joe Rogan. I didn't miss a podcast. There's a guy named Andreas Antonopoulos. He's like the Bitcoin god. Like, he knows everything about Bitcoin. And he was interviewed by Joe Rogan back in the day, ages ago.
Hang on a minute. So you found out about Bitcoin through Joe Rogan?
Yes.
Freaking Joe, man. Joe Rogan is insane.
He's already onto it.
That's crazy.
Like this was probably, I think, 2013. And it just clicked with me. It just made perfect sense, this Bitcoin thing. All right, and then this is kind of coming around the stage where, like, I don't have money to invest. I don't know how to invest. I don't know anything about it. And then all that stuff happens with my father and leaving. I'm like, all right, hitting books. First with mindset. Yeah. Then with finance, investing. and trading.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do, and I wanted to apply it to cryptocurrencies. Why did I want to apply it to cryptocurrencies? Because I could see a really potential, like how big it could get, and it's going to get even bigger in the future. That's what I personally think. But also in terms of day trading the cryptocurrencies, buying them, selling them on the day, I just believed that because it was such a small market, there weren't really smart people doing it yet.
Yep.
At that time. So when I was doing it, it was so easy. Like everything you read in textbook worked, and you wouldn't get a 20% gain. You might get a 60% gain overnight in some cases, which is literally insane. So I was working 70 hours a week at Nando's. I pumped that out for about solid 3 years. I saved every single dollar I could. My expenses were under $400 a week. I was making, like 1.4 thousand doing these extreme hours after tax, or $1,000 left over. I would definitely put in $500 every single week into cryptocurrencies to fuel not only my investments but my trading account. So I'm actually borrowing money on top of money that I already put in.
Dylan, where did you get the confidence though to do that?
I just understood that I believe we don't know like what happens once we die.
Yeah.
But there is a chance that there's only one life. So I always repeat that in my head. What happens if this is one life? Got to make it. Go all in. No
risk, no reward.
Yeah, that's it. And so. Yeah, I literally invested $70,000. I even borrowed more money from other people to put in and was trading that.
Yeah.
And so within 1 year, I grew my $70,000 to well over $1 million. And the thing that I knew, using my intelligence, I knew Bitcoin was going through a bubble. I knew cryptocurrencies were going through a bubble.
Yeah.
And I thought I was prepared for it, all right? But the greed did take over me as well.
What do you mean? Sorry, man, but what do you mean by you were prepared? Like, so you knew when you wanted to cash out?
So it's a difference. Like, you have your intelligence.
Yeah.
But then you have that greed, that guy talking in the back of your head saying, don't cash out now. Cash out tomorrow once you make a little bit more money.
Yeah.
Cash out the next day.
Yeah.
Cash out the next day. Mm-hmm. If you cash out now, you're going to pay this amount of tax, and then all your money gets halved. And that guy's just talking, and he can take over. And he literally took me over. I wasn't prepared for that aspect. It was always my goal to make $1 million.
Yeah.
I hit the $1 million before the bubble ended. And I actually, because I hadn't really set any other goals, I did, but I didn't really think about them. I entered a major depression, actually. I was struggling to wake up, in my bed. And that was the first time I wasn't motivated.
That's because you lost so much money.
No, when I made the $1 million.
Oh, when you made the $1 million.
Because I hit my goal that I was focusing on for so many years.
Yeah.
So when I hit the $1 million, I entered a major depression. I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't think at all. And I don't know why. I don't know how that happened. It feels like someone literally spiked me and gave me some weird drug where my brain didn't function anymore. It wasn't like I was unhappy.
Yeah.
It was like I can't even think.
Right? Then did you cash out at that point? No.
I didn't cash out.
You didn't. Okay.
So I kept it in. But I didn't have that motivation to log in onto my computer. All right, so you got to be really smart for this stuff. And then I start losing the money.
Yeah.
The more money I lose, I don't know why. I still haven't deconstructed this, but the happier I became. All right, the happier I became again and again and again. And maybe it's self-sabotage. I don't know what it is, but I never cashed out until the other day where it hit the bottom. And I just came to the decision all right, I don't want to do any more cryptocurrency stuff. I still believe in it long term.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a big investment. But I just know that the money and the power, I'm not ready for it currently. So people, they would say to Justin Bieber and people like that, look at him, he turned crazy once he became famous. And he made so much money, he has so many options in his life, and that is so much weight on your shoulders.
Of course,
people
man.
don't understand.
Yeah.
I think he's literally a legend, how he handled the situation.
Yeah.
And people give him shit for it. I'm like, man, he's a freak. You try and do what he did.
He is a freak, man.
It's literally impossible,
Yeah.
And I think I was too young for it. I wasn't prepared enough for it. So I've cashed out. I still believe in it long term.
Yeah.
The next 10 years, it's going to be huge.
Yeah.
I think it definitely can, literally, countries can rely on Bitcoin. I think it's that big. It could potentially get that big.
Yeah.
But I've just learnt a lot from losing all of that money. I understand that money doesn't make you happy. I've seen so much, I've seen, how you can literally be, I look at myself as a good person.
Yeah.
But all of that money, all of that greed, it took over me. And I wasn't ready for it. So the universe, it took that money back. That's what I believe. That's a fair deal. When I deserve the money again, it will come back to me.
Do you think there's a higher power in play, man?
I'm not sure. I don't know. But I just feel like there's definitely karma. You know, whatever you put in, that's going to definitely happen. You know? If you be shit to everybody, what are you going to get in return? Shit.
That's 100% true, man. That's 100% true. The world is very fair. It's a very fair place. It's more fair than you think, at least. Yeah. Right? But I mean, you enjoyed the journey though, right? Bitcoin?
Yeah, definitely. I've learned a lot.
Any regrets,
ups
man?
And downs. Always I wish I cashed out at the top. I didn't. I wish I didn't lose so much money. But I can't complain. You know, at the end of the day, even if I have nothing to my name, yes, I'm always thinking, fuck, man, why did you not? I wish I could just rewind time and have that money again, but it's all gone. Yeah. But there's nothing to complain about. Like we're talking about at the beginning of this podcast, we've got it so good compared to everyone in a third world country. Yeah. Nothing to complain about, man.
Exactly. I mean, and plus the fact that you even grew such an amount in Bitcoin, in cryptocurrency, was out of risk, man. Yep. And the fact that, I mean, you call it greed, but I call it risk. It's the same. It's the same. You're in a bitch, right? Yeah. You just, but like you said, it is karma, man. Yeah. But you know, it is fun because it's the people who take risks that usually get the most reward, right? Yeah. All right, man. So someone like me, I've got some money sitting in cryptocurrency, but I bought it. I bought it at the peak, right? This was at the not at the very peak. It was after the crash. Yeah. I bought it at 20,000, man. Yeah. So I've lost 50% of my money already so far. What's your advice, man? I've got so many people, by the way, who say, Julian, if you don't cash out now, you're an idiot. A lot of people tell me that. Huh?
All right, yeah, don't listen to them. But first of all, can't give financial advice. I'll just tell you what I would do in your situation. Yeah. What I would do is I would find a little tiny bit amount of money, if you can, put it in on a regular basis, like once a month.
So keep putting more.
Put more in.
Okay.
The reason why if you put more in on a regular basis, it's actually called dollar cost averaging. All right. So any volatile asset, especially Bitcoin, which is going up and down crazy like this, if you put in on a monthly basis or 2 weeks or 1 week or whatever it happens to be, you actually don't get the steady growth of that asset over time. All right. So if you, as a fact, if you do the maths on it, if you invested on 20,000, then invested the same amount every single week until today, you're actually only down about 20%. Yeah. All right. Even though the asset itself is down more than 50%, if you invested in dollar cost average, captured the average downfall, you're only down 20%. So what you do is, I've already been through one crash before. It was called the China bubble back in 2014. Yeah. Where it was a bigger crash than this one. All right. I think it was like 85% was wiped out. The top was like 1,200 down to $150. But what I did is every single paycheck I put in every single week, all the way down, and then all the way on the rise as well. Yeah. And just like I studied a bit of technical analysis, which is checking patterns on the charts with the price action. Yeah. And it looks like Bitcoin will always go through a bubble, a hype cycle, then followed by a prolonged crash, and then another bubble and a hype cycle. So I would wait for the next bubble and cash out then. If you believe in the technology, because if you believe in the technology, fundamentally, that gives you the power to hold.
Okay. Yeah. All right, man. And honestly, I'd rather listen to you than these cryptocurrency.
The gurus out there.
The gurus, man. The crypto police, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Stuff them, man.
BitConnect.
Huh? Yeah, man. BitConnect, man. Yeah, man. Well, like I said, man, I really appreciate you coming here, man.
Thank you so much, Julian.
Yeah. I honestly, if you didn't come, I wouldn't know what to do. I would have to find someone else who's just as impressive as you, man. Is there any questions you have, man, for me? Or for Nathan or anyone?
So when's the next podcast coming?
The podcast?
For everybody that's listening at home, you got to put the hard date in.
Oh, look, man. The next guy on my podcast is going on holiday, but he will be coming soon. Yep. I would say you've seen the next podcast. Not long.
Not long?
Right, not long. I can't put a date, but
see it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely. But you're coming back though, yeah? You're coming back to this podcast, man. Yeah, done. And lastly, Dylan, I was wondering, all right, can you give one of your inspirational speeches just to motivate everyone who's listening? How old are you, bro? Sorry?
25.
You're 25, man. Yep. I'm 23, right? Our age group is like that age group where we belong in a generation where everybody wants to be an entrepreneur, right? But not everyone's ready to take that risk, or they don't know where to start. What's your advice, man?
Definitely. First thing is just get addicted to knowledge.
Yeah.
But first, I think read books about self-development and mental toughness, your character, everything about that. Because that means you can go through anything. That means you have the strength to take the risk. Then fill every single hole in your game. All right, financial, everything. Just get everything organized. Then study different philosophies. Literally just study everything. So every single time you're doing something, multitask. You walk into the bus stop, put in a podcast, put in an audio book, and literally never waste time, because imagine, like we said before, if there's only one shot at this thing called life, why waste it?
Yeah.
Right? Got to be the best person you can be. You don't want to have any regrets when you're on your deathbed looking back in life. Every single person, there's this famous video on YouTube where this guy interviews everybody that are on their deathbed dying. And they all regret, there's always something that they regret about their life.
Yeah.
Just don't have that one thing, go at it and make your dreams a reality. And I believe that every single person on this planet, no matter who they are, if they put their mind to it, they are capable. And life will chuck a lot of stones at you, but you just need to dodge and weave them. All right. And if you get past all of the hurdles, you will be successful.
Amen. Amen to that, man. Anything you'd like to pitch, man, before we get off the camera?
Just one thing. So what I'm actually currently trying to do is, I did start it, but it's been on the back burner a little bit, is this thing called Hardcore Headstart. So what Hardcore Headstart is, and I'll continue this in the future, Hardcore Headstart means like we are young people, a community of people, where we have this mindset. We want to work really hard to get a head start in life. And we just want to find like-minded people, create our tribe, achieve these results together, whatever they may be, so eventually we become financially free, live life on our own terms, and then pay it forward. So that's Beautiful. What Hardcore Headstart is all about. Just creating this mindset, this movement. And I think one day there's a potential chance that if this grows, one person tells another friend and another, it can grow exponentially, and we can cover the whole world one day. Just leave the world in a better place.
Yeah, I mean, like what Dylan said before about finding a network of like-minded people. Scientifically, there's only 5 out there. I think with the whole Hardcore Headstarts concept, that's going to make it a lot easier, So definitely, man. You got like a Instagram handle you want to share with people, man?
Yeah, so it's just HC_Dylan Weston. Currently not active at the moment, but trust me, one day, if you got any value from today, one day I'm going to be back.
Yeah, and I can't wait for that, because Dylan has, if you guys follow Dylan, or if you know Dylan, or if you watch his vlogs on YouTube, they're really good. It's honestly really good content, man.
Thank you, man.
You got to get back on, man. Thank you so much, Dylan, for coming on our first podcast. Everyone who's watching, everyone who is listening to our podcast, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Nathan, for taking control of all the media, setting us up. Thank you, Nicho as well, for advising us, setting up the camera. And lastly, thank you, Joe Rogan. You inspired us so much. Thank you so much. And also, guys, please follow at James and Brothers on Instagram for more content, and you can follow me on my YouTube channel as well, which is Julian Djung Official. Thank you so much. See you next time.